Hey there, class kickers, and welcome to this really special edition. I'm trying something new on the production side, some live stuff today, and I really want to share with you kind of where this came from. It's this idea of Computer Science Week. I'm filming this in, kind of mid-December 2023, and we're talking about computer science with our students, but I really wanted to do something fun. And so what I did is I pulled up this really simple idea of the cheese ball Christmas e-card things that we would all get from our family members when they first, kind of learned how to email. I don't know if that's the way it worked out for you, but that's kind of how it was for me. And so all I did is just a simple search, right? Holiday animated gift card. You can click on a bunch of different ones. Some of them, they're mostly all snow. Thought this was kind of cool. Swinging, that one's pretty cool with some icons. Love this one that's coming up right here. Just this an advertisement thing. But the basic idea was, could you take one of these and deconstruct it to come back to what the basic parts are? So we use this language in our class: MVP, minimum viable product or project. And what does it need? It needs like maybe some sound, maybe it has a background, maybe it has an animation, it could have a message, it could have snow. And so from that, I jumped into the project myself. And of course, I wanted to make something maybe another level up. I don't show this to the students until afterwards. Actually, I show them something kind of garbagey so that I don't, have them get a little intimidated and then they don't want to do the project. I don't really give them a whole lot of guidance at all, except how to just get started briefly and then show me something awesome that you can make. And I'll get into that as we go. But this is kind of where it ended up for me. And this was twofold, total utility here. I use timers, I use background music and fun stuff in my class all the time. And this particular one was sort of like the e-card on steroids. We had seen people playing these Christmas songs and stuff, these scenes. They don't even change for hours. I mean, you're probably using one in your classroom now, and it has some music in the background. The problem was I didn't want to distract the kids. Number one, I didn't want to annoy the kids. Number two, if the theme of the music or style of the music was off, and I didn't want to hype them up. So if it had lyrics, if it was super high energy, I didn't want to get that. Like, it's bad enough as you move through the holidays, your kids, they're like antsy and all that stuff. And so I wanted chill music. I didn't want any sound. And I knew I could find this really simply. And I'll show you where I got everything for free and talk about some copyright stuff. But it's the same concept. I have a background video. In this case, it just keeps looping, the little fireplace. And it had some animation already built into it, which I thought was pretty cool. I overlaid some snow. I pulled out the old, image editing like Photoshop or Affinity, GIMP, Canva type tool, and I drew some foggy sort of edges of the window pane as if you were looking in creepily into somebody else's house. And then I just added the music, and I have it muted, but if you're interested in checking this out, use it in your classroom, that'd be really cool. I'll link to it. Or you can make your own, make some suggestions of what I could do from there. But so I'll show you. You could go to Google just to get inspired. I obviously don't advocate kids just snagging random images from Google. Most of these require some type of license. But you can get the idea of what the kind of scene they're looking for. In fact, if you wanted to generate one with AI, if your school's allowing that, I generated one on my own with Padlets. I suck at drawing kind of tool. I don't know if that's exactly what it's called, but I was like, oh, give me a snowman. And it's gonna be a house, and it's Christmassy, and a fireplace would be great. Well, the snowman and the house were both on fire, and so we have some room to go with AI. But anyway, you get the basic idea. And what you could do with it. So here I am in Pixabay, right? Now Pixabay has some things you probably or have it blocked at school, but to give you an idea, you could pull 5 to 10 songs, put them in a folder, share those out with students as long as they meet certain copyright licensing kind of requirements. And for that, I'm going to show you what happened with me. So I was hovering over this little shield, and there's a fingerprinting algorithm, right? And this is really good to talk about talk about with kids, is copyright and fair use and, piracy and all that stuff. Well, I actually chose everything that didn't have that to put on my YouTube channel, and I still actually got a notification. It wasn't a strike because their license agreement allows it to be used in derivative work and on YouTube. Two things I knew I was good on, but it still recognized it almost instantaneously. So you can figure that part out. on Pixabay, but also on Pixabay, you have all sorts of images. You could use, or kids could create them on Canva. They can find them in Google or even on Brush Ninja, where I'm going to show you right now. So here I am in Brush Ninja, and if you've seen it in my videos recently, I've done a ton of trainings at conferences and all sorts of things going on with Brush Ninja. But it's free, amazing animation. There's a whole playlist up there of ways you can use this to engage students, differentiate instruction, do some formative assessment. But watch those. I'm going to breeze through this really fast because just like with the kids, I don't need to take all of their time. I need to take enough to pique their interest, get them hooked, and then release them so I don't step on their creativity. Because like I do, I mean, yeah, it's Christmas cookie cutter season, right? Oh, everybody does the exact same project. They should have looked the same. Well, that's garbage. Nobody wants that. And to be engaged is to be given freedom and autonomy to create something that is meaningful to you, but meets certain basic parameters. And that's a real hallmark of a student driven lesson. So here I am. I'm in Brush Ninja right now, and I got this 1080p background. When you go to new and you hit new again, choose cinema, right? And then it'll get you 1080p. So you could overlay that later on something like a Google Slides presentation, which I'll get to in a minute. Or if you really wanted to do the e-card, then you could do a comic book page, which is that portrait, not landscape. So here we go. What would I do? Well, I show them that a lot of these cards have some type of scribbled message. So grab the paintbrush. I'm going to grab a bigger brush just so you can see it. And I'm going to choose maybe green. And I'm on my little trackpad, so I'm going to try my best. Cursive with one finger. Oh, and there's a problem. I have the fill color on, so I'm going to turn that off. And actually, I'm going to need to go back to the arrow tool to do that. Click on it, and I can turn. Awesome. Turn the paint bucket off. There we go. And now I show them some design stuff, which is basically, okay, click on it, right? You have it. Then just copy paste it. You could also hit duplicate, and then I'm going to change it. Make sure that this is on green. I'm going to turn it to black, and I'm going to nudge it right and down, and then I'm going to send it to the back so I get this like drop shadow effect. Now, what's really cool about that is if I select them both, I can group them right here, and then if I do that, I can animate with rotation, scale, and they stay together. I can even move them off the screen and have them fly in, all sorts of stuff, right? I'm just going to shrink it down, put it right in the middle, and then I'm going to duplicate. And on this one, I'm going to click on it. I'm going to ungroup it really quick. And then from now on, I want to leave it ungrouped. I'm going to click on the top part and, oh, I got the black one. I'm going to wait till I see green over there. Oh, well, let's just change it red. There we go, or whatever, that's bright. So duplicate it again. Click on it again, change it to yellow, duplicate it, click on it, change it to dark blue, and then I hit play, and you see this kind of going through. The purpley, pink, magenta stuff in the background is because it's transparent, but it's not going to show me that in the preview. Really cool, right? That was super fast. So I could export that out, overlay it if I wanted to stack them up, or I'm going to go back to this background, and I'm going to search for one, and I've been searching for, whoops, one thing I do not love about Brush Ninja is that feature. If you over select, it kicks you out of that active window. So I'm just going to type in winter scene. This is the one I've been using with my students, and I'll do it with you guys. I'm going to set it in the background. You get one background. You can't use multiples. So now, because of where this is, maybe I do want to shrink it down. And that's why we group it right there. Love failing in front of people, because it allows them to see that it's not a big deal, and we just move on. So I'm going to go ahead and group this, and then I can move it over here. I'm just going to get it out of my way. So now I'm going to go back to the beginning, the very first one. It's still in the way, but that's okay. It's going to move. And I'm going to go to the Shapes tool. I'm going to hit More, even though I could get a star right there. Let's do that. And I need to go over to the right here and choose what I want the star to look like. So I'm going to use a really small brush with a black outline. I'm going to use a full color of yellow. I can customize that yellow if I'd like. I'm not going to right now. And I'm just going to draw a star on the peak of the house. And I'm going to make it pretty big just so you can see this effect. but I've seen students shrink them, skew them, rotate them to get this effect, right? And I'll do one more of those. What the heck? Let's go with two. So there we go. Right now, when I duplicate this slide, I can go to my arrow tool and I'm going to drag that part of the way down. We'll start this animation so it looks like it's shrinking out of the way. But then I'm just going to move the stars. Move one over here. Put this one, we'll put it on top of the chimney. And then move this one over here. And then I'm going to just keep doing that, right? So when I duplicate now, this one comes to that peak. This one goes, I don't know, up in the tree, because that makes a whole lot of sense. You get the basic idea. And then I'm going to click on this and move it. So I'm doing my frame by frame kind of hand animating, and I'll hit play, and it's really bad. But you get the essential idea here, that what we're after is, can kids layer on effects to an image that's meaningful to them, have a message, something like that. Just show them a couple of tools and then let them go. And what I've found is that kids either pick an image they really like and they spice it up here, or they get something and then they kill that background, make it transparent. They export it out and then they begin layering it in a presentation like slides or PowerPoint or whatever. And some of them have even been able to take it the next step further, which is to find a chroma keyed. And you know what? Let me do this live for you real quick. I'm on Pixabay, so I could type snow chroma key. I don't care if I spell it right. That's basically a green screen. And I need to just change this over to videos. And look at this. So some of these are sponsored. Why? Chroma. I was getting free ones before. Of course. There we go. Some of these actually are sponsored because probably I might not be logged in. But you get the idea here is you can play through and you can find these for free on the internet. I know I had one up there. I don't know why it's not coming through. But a student suggested, I'm like, that's exactly what I did. Is I found one that was snowing and I popped it on top of my Christmas music message, which I've got it muted, but it's been playing the whole time. This is 10 minutes, right? So I'll just show you as I zip through. The cool part is are you going to have some kids build this super cheese ball, retro looking e-card like we got in AOL Instant? No, I'm just kidding. Or are you going to have some kids ramp up and create an actual video with this type of content in it? And I think the answer to that is yes. And honestly, like taking a look at this right now, if you like look at that video and you like that video, hey, you want to use this in your classroom, go for it. It's got some really cool effects. But the other thing is, how are you doing this with your kids, talking about, copywriting and deconstruction, but empowering them with this broad way that they could actually solve this problem with their own creativity, a project that matters to them, using all of these stacking tools and some computational thinking. And you're going to find that teaching in this way, where you inspire and then launch, then you can bop around and give feedback to kids, ask questions, have them do a virtual gallery walk every 10 minutes. All right, everybody stop your work. If every other person stand up, I want you to walk around the room and just watch what they're doing, sit back down, like Duck, Duck, Goose. Now the other half of the room, get up, walk around, and then see what ideas did you get? What did you like? What do you wonder? What questions did you want to ask? Things like that. And it just changes the dynamic in your classroom. And you are not doing all the work. You are helping students to create awesome things that are meaningful to them, and they're highly engaged. So I really hope you like it. I hope you like this little video that I made up here. Use that timer in your classroom. Drop in the comments, like if you did this project, what the kids thought about it, how you would do it differently. If you like my timer, what other timers and stuff like that I should make. And I really hope it helps you kick some class this holiday season. And I'll catch you guys in the next somewhere.